Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for the opportunity of being here and explaining a little bit more to you about benchmarking. In the first session of this morning, we had 3 speakers, and all of them, I counted, all of them encourage you to start benchmarking, to continue if you already started, and they emphasized the importance of it. In my presentation, I would like to explain a little bit more about the European benchmarking cooperation, about the reasons behind benchmarking, what we are exactly doing in the EBC program, and some lessons learned and the challenges ahead. So first of all, about EBC. EBC is a foundation. It's a not-for-profit organization initiated by partners from the Netherlands, from Nordic countries, and some utilities of the so-called 6 Cities Group. The 6 Cities Group is a group of utilities from Scandinavian countries, capital cities, who started with benchmarking in Europe somewhere in the early 90s. The mission of this foundation is to facilitate utilities, in fact the members of the founding partners, in the continuous process of improving their performance, and also at the same time to raise transparency. So this foundation is under Dutch law. We are based in the Netherlands, and we have a board which is composed of different stakeholders in the water sector. You can see it over here on the screen. 3 of the original partners, the associations of Denmark, Norway, and the Netherlands. Then Euro, which is the European Federation of National Utility Associations, and then the Danube Water Program. So in fact, these are the partners in this foundation. Then we have a director and a team, and since we started with this program, we have developed a network, a utility network of some 175 utilities from 40 different countries. You can see them here on the map. Also utilities from some countries quite outside Europe. That was not because we are actively trying to conquer the whole world, but because there are utilities like, for instance, in Singapore and in Brazil and in the USA, who lack local opportunities for benchmarking. So that's why they came to us and asked us if they could join this program. The core market of our foundation is Western Europe. This year we are running an exercise with the data of 2015, and this is already the 10th edition. On top of this, since 2012, we also work with regional hubs to meet the demand for local benchmarking. In 2012, we had a first project in Romania, because we experienced that it's not so easy to organize everything in one big program, because of differences in language, differences in culture, in the level of development of the utilities. So that's why, to start at that time with the Romanian association, we came to the conclusion that it would be better to also organize benchmarking at a local or regional level. For this we developed the so-called hub concept, which is now also used in this region. It means that there is a local ownership of benchmarking with a very important role for the national water utility associations. And the EBC Foundation acts as a facilitator and a kind of joint knowledge center on benchmarking. Well, you already heard about this morning. One of the cases of the hub model is the Danube Water Program, capacity building program for water and sanitation, with utility benchmarking as a quite important pillar in it. And since 2014, the first phase of the program, in a joint effort, we have developed 4 different programs in the former Yugoslavia region, Albania and Kosovo, Bulgaria, and since last year in Ukraine. The first phase covered some 56 utilities. Not too bad for a first pilot, as we call it. And now we are at the start of a second phase. So this is the team which is working on this in Western Europe, but also for the support of the Danube region. So we are just a small team, but in a big network. Then a little bit more about the content of benchmarking. What actually is it? And yeah, we have a mixed audience today. Utilities who already participated, but also utilities who are new to the subject. So those of you who have already participated know by now, or should know by now, that benchmarking is a tool for performance improvement through systematic search and adaptation of leading practices. Meaning that you can learn from good practices from your colleagues. So on the one hand, it's about performance assessment. That's a lot of work, collecting data, making comparisons, checking data, making nice reports, but that's only half of the work. Because by then you know the specific points where you could do a better job, but of course the real challenge is to improve the situation. And if you only leave it with that report, then nothing changes in the company. In fact, benchmarking is a management tool for continuous improvement. It's a plan, do, check, act cycle, starting through the benchmarking with assessing your situation, developing plans to improve, implementing plans for improving the situation, and of course then measure the result, and then it starts all over again. So basically it never stops. There can be internal drivers or external drivers for benchmarking. Internal drivers, when the management itself is not very satisfied with issues in the company. But also external drivers, for instance, when the water is too expensive or the quality is not okay, then you can have a lot of pressure from the outside world. Regulatory pressure, in case there is a regulator. Public pressure, for instance, the most recent citizens initiative, right to water. And in this European citizen initiative, there was quite a debate about the role of benchmarking, and in the end, the European Parliament calls for more intensified use of the instrument in the sector, and also to increase the transparency. Other external drivers for the water sector are the sustainable development goals and the water governance initiative of the OECD. But it's not just about pressure. Benchmarking has a lot of benefits for your utility itself. It can help you by assessing the situation to learn and to improve. We have seen quite some examples, at least in Western Europe, that the instrument really works. And there are cases quite documented from Germany, from Denmark, and from my home country, the Netherlands. For instance, the Netherlands, where we are benchmarking already for quite a while, almost 20 years by now. We have seen that since the start, when you correct for inflation, there's quite a cost reduction, more than 30%. At the same time, the service level is still improving, and very important in this sector. We also maintain the necessary investment levels to keep the system in a good condition. Another benefit of this benchmarking is that you can get into close contact with your colleagues. For instance, in the Western European program, we have established a kind of collaboration between a Dutch utility, Oasen, with Welsh Water in the United Kingdom. They experienced that they were a little bit in the same operating environment, and they decided to exchange. In this case, not by sending the CEOs or managers to other utilities to have a nice look around, but they decided to do it the other way around, to send people from the work floor, so mechanics in the distribution network, from the Netherlands to the United Kingdom, and a few weeks later also a group the other way around, that the people who were working on the network could really experience at their colleagues how they were working. If you are working together with colleagues in the field for more than a week, well, then you understand the different situation, the different techniques that they are using, and all this really helped to implement improvement measures. To be successful in benchmarking is not very easy. It requires, first of all, that there is a commitment from the senior management. Without that commitment, nothing will change. If it is only the hobby of a few people who like to play around with data, then in the end, nothing will change in the company. So it is essential that there is commitment of the senior management, that you are starting on a road to improvement. And not simply for 1 year, but for a longer period of time. The benchmarking should be aligned with the strategic objectives of the company. If you are not focused on improving your service, improving your business, then it won't work. Stable situation. If you are in the middle of a restructuring, then all data is changing, so then it doesn't make sense. Ivan Ivanov already told it this morning. You need sufficient resources to do the job. It's quite a lot of work to collect the data, to be here present in workshops, and then work on the real improvement part. So you need to have enough resources in terms of manpower and also money. Good data. It's essential to have a good quality of the data, because if you do not provide good data quality, your colleagues cannot trust the comparisons, and the other way around. And of course, a willingness to share experiences and practices with your colleagues. Also the facilitator. There are some constraints. You need to be knowledgeable about the sector, competent in benchmarking, and also trustworthy. Because in many cases, utilities are a little bit careful with their data. They don't want to put everything on the street. So it is essential that the information which is in the program stays confidential in the group. Well, this is the benchmarking process. We distinguish 7 consecutive steps from the project preparation through the data collection and analysis to reporting and a workshop. In the workshop we discuss the results and start the discussion about improvement. Then we have an evaluation and a public report. We want to give a broad view on the performance, so it's not just about finance and efficiency. It starts with understanding the operating environment, so context information, and then it's about water quality, reliability, who are most important from the perspective of the consumers, service quality, sustainability, and last but not least, finance and efficiency. We have 3 different levels. In the first phase, in the Danube program, all utilities have participated at the standard level, but we also offer a basic level for small utilities who just start with this instrument, and we have an advanced level for those utilities who are a little bit more experienced by now and would like to analyze areas in more detail. But we will come back later on this part in the afternoon. So these are some examples. Basic level, it's about coverage, non-revenue water. Standard level, that's a little bit more detailed on the real losses, the cost recovery, affordability. And at advanced level, we go into more detail at process level. For instance, we calculate customer lost minutes. That's, let's say, a type of measure from the perspective of the consumer, and greenhouse gas emissions. What are the deliverables of the program? First of all, each utility receives his own individual company report. This gives you a picture of where you are compared to your colleagues, and it also shows your development over time. It includes the water balance and the financial scheme, and the purpose, the goal of this report is to be able to check the data that you have submitted and to identify your performance gaps. An annual benchmarking workshop. This is the moment that you move from the assessment part to the improvement part. And this is where you interact with your colleagues. And in Western Europe, we organize it every year in another country, so that participants in the program are able to understand the differences in the operating environment. A public report. At the end of each exercise, we produce a public report, which is meant for stakeholder communication. and I have a few copies with me. So for each utility who is here, we can distribute a copy later on. So this is the planning of the next cycle in Western Europe, but it's not so different from the planning that we use for the projects here in the Danube region. The idea is that we start around this time with the orientation, the registration, and if we would start earlier, then there is no data yet available from last year. The goal is to finish the exercise before the end of the year, because it's an annual cycle. And if you use the data of 2015, it's better to have a report on that in 2016 and not in 2017, otherwise it would feel outdated. So lessons learned and challenges ahead. First lesson is that it's not an easy job, it's a lot of work. If you want to do it all the way at the advanced level, there is a very thick reference guide for that. A lot of definitions, so also a lot of work on the data quality, the validation process. But we all know that it is essential to put this effort in it, because you need to have reliable data for yourself and for your colleagues. If the data would be so-so, then it's hard to decide on improvement measures. Results take time. Also, Ivan Ivanov told it this morning in his presentation. He said 3 to 5 years. If I look at my experiences in my own country, then it's also about that time before you actually see that the sector is moving forward. But we also see from all the good cases that the efforts of benchmarking really pay off. And another lesson learned is that it all depends on you. It's all about people and their drive to improve. The challenges for the next years. Well, an important one is how to keep utilities interested over time. Some of you have not participated yet, some of you for 2 cycles now, and I heard some stories of already a longer period of time. In my country we are already doing it since 1997, and then it's an extra challenge to keep it going. That requires the commitment of the senior management, but also a strong focus on continuous improvement, that you know why you are doing this. Because we all know that improving this type of service never stops. It also means that the content of the program needs to be interesting, and it needs to be adapted to the current issues in the companies. Another challenge is what we see over time is how to deal with a change of staff. If there's only one person in a company who is knowledgeable and who is experienced with benchmarking, and he changes position, then you can start all over again. So it's important that you have a kind of team in the company with more than one staff who knows about this. And also the funding of the program. It costs money, of course, because the associations as facilitators need to organize things, need to have staff available to coordinate it, an IT platform, etc. So it's also a matter of funding. And as we all know, usually the money is not with the associations. The money, in fact, is with the companies. So it is a joint responsibility of funding this type of efforts, to my opinion. Okay, for now, thank you for your attention, and in the afternoon we will come back later on the issue of the more advanced benchmarking. Thank you.